aren't going to be intimidated by their policy revisions, aren't going to be intimidated by their hurricane fences, aren't going to be intimidated by their big law firms, aren't going to be intimidated by their big lies, and we're not going to be intimidated by UA10. We're not going to follow blanket repressions of free expression between the hours of 11 and 6 a.m. But we're not going to let our free expression be trilled at any time. And it is, I mean, we're all aware that Dunn Meadow is really tantamount to a sacred space at IU. For years, it's been a site of gathering, of protesting, and the protests have had the force to change the world. The moral energy of student protest and the solidarity with faculty and community has been something that cannot be bottled up. It's ended wars, it's contributed to ending wars, it's contributed to ending apartheid, it's contributed to ending slaughters of the Contra in Central America, it's contributed to occupying Wall Street, and all these fights, including the fights against genocide today, all these fights come from that energy, from that moral courage to stand in a meadow here or elsewhere around the world, and we're not going to let that right be taken from us so easily, just because they don't like their donors, their leaders, the conservative legislatures don't like what we have to say. They need to hear what we have to say. And that hurricane fence tells us more than ever that this is where we have to be. And it isn't just their new expressive activity policy, it's their policy on free speech, which they modified on June 14th. It's across the board, and it's not only the letter, the facial neutrality of the policy, it's that they're announcing it in our face with clear intent to stifle content, to stifle behavior, to chill our speech, to chill our expression. And we're here to remember the power and the significance of that expression. We're here to commemorate free speech on the eve or on their declaration of its death. And our memory of that speech, our memory of what it's done, has drawn us here, and together in commemorating it, we will keep it alive. So wonderful that you're here.
Yeah. IU still refuses to acknowledge or do anything about its current role in the ongoing slaughter, the genocide, the mass murder of Palestinians in Gaza. And all of us as people, as Americans, as people within an institution that's directly complicit, have a responsibility to ensure that our university ends its relationship with this horrible slaughter. And we can only do that if the university allows us, or if we make the university allow us to speak. And the reason that they're suppressing this speech, it isn't arbitrary. They don't hate speech in general. They don't care if people are chalking on the ground. They don't care if people gather in Dunn Meadow. They don't care if people are chanting slogans and holding signs and waving flags. They care when people are chanting and chalking and marching and protesting about Palestine. They care because the people in charge, the powerful interests that govern this university, that govern this country, they're devoted to this project of death and destruction, of militarism, of empire, and they will stop at nothing to prevent us from speaking out and fighting against it. And so not only is this a vigil for free speech, it's also a vigil for all the people who have died and will die because of the inaction of this university and the inaction of everyone in the university. And the university's campaign of repression against us, against me, against anyone who dares speak out against, that's a sign that we are powerful, that they genuinely do care what we do, because we genuinely do have an effect. And if we want to continue having an effect, if we want to continue this struggle to end our complicity in genocide, the partnership in genocide, then we all got to speak out. It's as simple as that. And so you all being here today is enabling that fight. It's progressing that fight. And I can tell you with the utmost certainty that this fight will continue throughout the year, no matter what bullshit they try to throw at us.
You're here. Thank you.
People to express publicly that they do not want this university complicit in genocide, that they want our university to disclose the financial ties it has to corporations, entities, and other institutions that support this genocide, and divest from these corporations, all of these different lobbying groups that promote Israel, and we want them to, acknowledge that this is a problem that they can solve, that they have the ability to contribute to solving. And we would like people to sign that petition. You can find it on a tiny URL, IU Divest Now. Pretty simple. And the coalition is currently in the process of trying to train people, students especially, but anyone really, who is willing to try and learn to talk about Palestine, to learn and talk about these issues in a serious way, to try and get not only signatures, but generate a base of support that we can use for future organizing. Because this thing only happens if people continue to organize. If we build institutions beyond ourselves, we're students, the university might think that, oh, well, in 4 or 5 years, the problematic ones will be gone. And faculty, all they do is sit on their ass, and so they won't do anything. So if we build something that persists, well, then that changes the whole calculus. If we build something that is able to last through the cohorts of students who keep coming through, and is able to animate and motivate the faculty to, do things, well, then that's how you get change. That's how every bit of change that has ever happened in the world has happened. It's because people organized, and they persisted, and they continued to fight the good fight, even when the people, the powers that be, told them to shut the hell up. So they told us to shut the hell up, and we're saying hell no. So if you would like to be trained to sign up, if you would like to be trained to talk about Palestine and have these conversations with people, or just want to get more involved in the organization, just let me know.